I can't believe I did that.
That could go in the bloopers reel.
No, it won't.
Why not? Just get a bloopers reel.
No. Ooh. Boop-a-doop-boop. You gonna say hi to the people? Oh, I'm on the wrong page.
You want me to start talking?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if I was on.
You are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Skating Unfiltered with Jazzy Foster and Coach Jeff.
I'm not gonna hear you.
We're going to get some time for some people to come in. We're trying something different. We're going live. I don't know how that actually works. And I don't know if it's actually going to work. So we'll just see. And say, why are we going live? Well, there's been a lot of talk on Mr. Rogers' page. You always got to go over there and check that out. About the different organizations. What is the difference between USA Roller Sports and USRSS? Mm-hmm. And I think the reason why this question's coming up is because there are quite a few meets popping up in either organizations. So that's giving a lot of opportunity to different people in different areas. You know, you got Chris Kiesler and Lisa Dunham up there pretty much in the Great Lakes region. You got Jimmy Blair down there in the southern part, Georgia and northern Florida. And actually, we had two meets in what would be formerly what's known as the Eastern region. We had two meets, and they went to have an invitational in May. And when we were down in Orlando, and I'm talking because letting people come in, and Jasmine is doing whatever she does to get it working right. We just got back from Orlando. It was a great meet, great turnout. Weather was great. Rink was great. Food was great. And we just wanted to, hope everybody got home safe. They had a couple of bad crashes. Hope those guys are doing good. We might talk about some safety issues after we talk about this. But we just want to skate. And basically, we have USA Roller Sports, which everybody knows about USA Roller Sports, I'm pretty sure. And then we have World Skate, which we just did in Orlando. And we have USRSS. Now, USRSS is pretty close to World Skate. And the age groups are a little different. USA Roller Sports starts off at Tiny Tot, which is 5 and under. And then every division goes up: primary, juvenile, elementary, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, classic, grand classic, master, grandmaster.
You're going way too fast. We haven't even gotten into it yet.
Well, I know, but I can talk about this later. But the Tiny Tots is 5 and under. And
I'm coming
the
like...
oldest division is Premier, which is 65 and over. I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on USA Roller Sports because everybody knows that, and they have 2-person relays, they have 2 mixed relays, they have 4-person relays, they have 4 mixed relays, and they have 3-person relays and 3 mixed relays now. They do not have a pro division. However, the NSC usually has an event at Nationals, which is kind of like the pro division. They usually do that. Is that on Sprint Night?
What?
The NSC?
No, NSC is usually, it's like you have practice day and then you have the NSC at night.
Oh, yeah, practice day. And that's the day where they set up because they've got quite a, graphics and everything. So, that, USA Roller Sports, I think everybody knows about that. Everybody had a lot of questions in Orlando about World Skate, the divisions, and everybody is asking about USRSS. Now, currently in USA Roller Sports, there is no beginner program. There is no novice or rookie, whatever you want to call it, program. Now in USRSS, they do have a rookie program. And their rookie program is in their age groups are 5 to 7, 8 to 9.
No, wait, did you say rookie?
Uh,
Are you talking about rookie? Because you're not right.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. You're right.
That was individual age group. That's like your elite, like your
Rookie is 5 and under, correct?
Yeah.
And then they have 6 to 9 for rookie.
Harry says hi.
Who?
Harry Stewart.
Hey, Harry. And rookie is 10 to 13, 14 to 17, 18 and up, and 30 and up. That is rookie. The current ruling is if you have not placed at a American Championships, you can skate rookie. They are currently, I think they had to do that when it first started because they just started. So, because technically I could skate rookie. I would never do that. But I think eventually they've been massaging that rule so people that are obviously not rookies should not be skating rookie. They also have, in regular division, they have a 5 to 7, an 8 and 9, 10 and 11, 12 and 13, 14 to 16, 17 to 19, 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, and 60 plus. Now they go every 10 years. USA Roller Sports, when it gets in the older divisions, goes every 5 years. Now, I'm going to have Jasmine explain basically when the date, because there's two differences. USA Roller Sports goes on December 31st of the current year, correct?
Yeah.
And USRSS, I believe, goes on January 1st. It's a day off.
Yeah. So this year it's December 31st of 2021. So I'm 21. I'm 21 in either. Like I'm 22 now, but it's 21 in either.
Yes. Now, in those divisions, in the relays in USRSS, the juniors cannot skate with the seniors. Is that true?
What?
In the relays.
For
USRSS.
Well, it depends on your ages. Like if it's 17 and up, the relay age groups are 17 and older.
Okay. So the relay groups are 17 and older, which is different from USA Roller Sports because, for instance, if you were a sophomore, you could skate the senior relays, correct?
Yeah, for the three persons,
and
but
the 4 persons.
Yeah, but just for the 3 persons, like they're the same as 17 and older for it.
Now, what also we want to make sure you understand is on the USA Roller Sports, that is the 4-cone, what they call the safety track. Mm-hmm. In the USRSS, you have the option of skating either track. From what I understand, I talked to Jimmy, they let the rink decide which track they want to skate on. Now, when you go to the American Championships, it is on the oval track. The other difference in USA Roller Sports, you are set in your heats, you go to a semi, and then you qualify away to the final. There is an additional race in USRSS, and it's a 1-lap time trial. And that is what establishes your heats, correct?
Yeah.
And that they establish that by time. And then after that, depending on how many people they can go to semis and go to a final. Now, the World Skate, you want to say anything more about USRSS before we go on?
No, Mike Godin did bring up the $10 card. I was just reading some of the comments. He was going to enter you into rookie because you only have one knee. Then Harry Stewart says, "I'm his rookie relay partner. I don't have any knees left."
Okay, so we're a little new to this live stuff, but also the amateur card for USA Roller Sports is $85. Okay, the amateur card for USRSS, I believe, is $40. Now, in USA Roller
Turn your
Sports,
phones off.
USA Roller Sports.
Give me your phones.
Okay. In USA Roller Sports, you can get an event card, which will cost you $25, and it's good for, I believe, 4 to 5 days, and you must complete your safe sport and your background check before you can skate the event.
You talking about USARS?
That is USARS. And USRSS, if you are a USA Roller Sports member, you can get an event card for $10. And that'll allow you to skate the event. And you do not have to buy the $40 card. The sanction for, as far as I know, the sanctions for USA Roller Sports are still $150 a day for the event. In USRSS, the sanction is $100 per year, period. Those are the differences. Okay? And they have the classifications in USRSS, and they have a, what do they call it, the mercy rule? Not the mercy rule. It's what's the rule, like if you get knocked down in the last corner?
Victim rule.
I think it's a victim rule. So let's say you were winning the race, you're going to qualify, and somebody throws a bad pass, knocks you down, that you would still get advanced to the final.
That happened this year at Worlds.
Yes.
They didn't get knocked down. What happened is they were in, like, I think they were in qualifying position, and then she got pushed out. She would have made it. If I think it was India that got pushed out, and then they were in the 1,000 final. They just added her to the final.
So there are some differences. The USRSS seems to be closer to World Skate, but I'm not going to say they're as close because USA Roller Sports also uses World Skate rules also. Now, on World Skate, as far as I know, I don't know of any sanction fees for World Skate. There might be, but I really don't know. Their age groups are, they go by, it's Youth C, which is 6 and younger, Youth B, which is 7 to 9, Youth A, which is 10 to 12, Cadet, which is 13 to 14, and Junior, which is 15 to 18, and Senior, which is 19 and up. Master A is 30 to 39. Master B is 40 to 49. Master C is 50 to 59. And Master D is 60 and above. Now, when we were in Orlando, the format that they had is they had a 1-lap Flying 100 for the world class junior and senior.
Yeah.
That's the only division I believe they had it for.
Yeah.
Then what they did is that is how they seeded the heats.
And they did it, if you don't know how they seeded it, they did it serpentine. So it was like they go first, second. If there's 3 heats, it'd be first, second, third, and then go down to 4th, 5th, 6th, and then go down 7th.
Just
8th,
like
9th.
to do it Outdoor Nationals. Now from there, they went, the winner moves on. And if it's, let's say you only have 2 heats and you're going to have 6 in the final, so that would mean you had 2 heats, you would have each winner, and then the 4 next fastest times would make it to the final, which eliminates a semi. So you go right from the heat to a final. In one instance, in one of the divisions, they had 6 heats. So only the winner advanced.
That wasn't fun.
So that, like I said, we're just telling you how it works. don't really want to have an opinion on if it's what you think of it. That's up to you. But they did have an event that had 6 heats. So the winner advanced. That was it. That was your final. And that's how they did it.
I'm going to say is if it was like Worlds, it would have been you do. But again, this was on time. So it would have been if there's more than 16 people, you get the 16 with the fastest times. And that's when you get put into heats. And again, they'll do the heats how they do with the serpentining it.
Any more questions? You got questions?
No.
No questions?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, is there
boring.
any questions on
You're boring.
I'm boring?
You're boring.
Okay, that's because I'm just talking facts. I'm sorry.
I know you're talking facts.
Well, you can talk then. I just wanted to get out because a lot of people want to know what the differences were.
The only differences is mostly divisions, the track that we skate on, and some of the rule set. Although I was surprised when we went down to Orlando, the jump rule was different.
Yes, they charged it to the field.
Yeah, and someone said before it's never been charged to the field ever in skating. I remember it in Naira when they had Naira Nationals. I may be wrong, but they charged it to the field, and the second person was out. This time they give a second chance. So if it's charged to the field and then someone jumps, instead of just you're out, you just get moved to the second line. Like that's been a rule before where it was charged to the field. I don't know who the person that said, it's never been charged to the field. It's been charged to the field, like a lot of times.
Now, also on the relays, the difference between USA Roller Sports relays is when the relay's done, everybody's off the floor at the end except for the people racing. And that's the same way it is in World Skate. Also, in USRSS,
you go back in the relay box.
They go back into the relay box, and everybody finishes in the center, which can be confusing if you've never done that before. They remove some pylons so you can, they have a gate area, which they are changing, try to make that safer, which we can go into safety later.
Safer and easier to
easier
get
going.
into the relay box.
And the pylons are different colors, so
Well, the pylons were different colors before. It was just they changed the gate area to get back into it, so it's safer and you have more time to get back into the box.
Yes.
I talked with some people about it. I mean, when we did it in Kentucky, I thought it was really good.
So we just wanted to kind of, because there was definitely a lot of talk on Mr. Rogers' page about, the different organizations. There's a meet in Delaware, and a lot of people just had a lot of questions. How to register for the meet, how you how to get an amateur card. If I have a USORS card, do I need to get another card? No, you don't. If you have a USORS card, you can get a card for $10.
What are you talking about? Like the Delaware meet?
Yes.
Oh. Well, you gotta say which meet. The Delaware meet, which is May 7th and 8th, and practice is on the 6th.
Yes.
Go check out the Facebook page, Delaware Spring Invitational, I think it is, for more information.
We're giving out $1,000 for...
or a boot.
Boot.
Whichever you choose for the Grand Champion races.
For the women and the men.
There's a one for the... Yeah,
and there's we're giving out some money for the little kids, too.
You're giving out a boot, too. You get a full custom boot for the 14 and up, and then 8 to 13, it's a semi-custom boot, or it's, I think, $750.
Yep. Well, that's why I got you here to keep me straight.
Can USARS change the gate so that it's safer? I saw someone get smashed in Virginia. For example, have a place to enter so it is safe for all involved.
Well, does anybody have any more questions about the difference in the organizations, the different fees, the different tracks, the age groups? Because we can get into that.
I would just rather answer that question.
Okay. Well, to answer that question, since I've been skating, which I don't want to age myself, I believe that we've had, as far as safety, we have standardized the regional track. Has to be 75 feet. I think it's 170 by 75. We instituted the helmet rule in the 90s, which we also instituted the regional track size. And we have moved the relay box over, further to the outside. Those are the only safety changes that I really know of that we've come up with.
What changes would you add to it if there are any relayers? It's just, we have to change a complete track.
Well,
because those speeds are getting faster and faster, and it's getting harder and harder to get into the box. I mean, when I was in Orlando, I know just for the 2-person, like, it's hard, but those 3 persons, there's always someone on the track. Like, it's not, you have 2 laps. Someone's always going into the box, and someone's always getting a push, so it's very, very hard.
Yeah, you almost crushed that girl.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
I ran straight. I went shoulder first into the
I don't know who it was, but you almost plowed him.
Yeah, no, I ran into her. I went full force because I lost at least half my speed in that relay, and that hurt.
Well, I think that we need to have a discussion because the inline times are coming within almost 10 seconds of the ice times, and
10 seconds? Or are you saying 10th of a second?
No, 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Are you talking about like the
for 1,000 meter?
Okay,
we're getting within that time, and I think ice. We have the pads, and I did talk to someone that said that we did use pads one year. I don't remember that, but they said
I wasn't born.
Yeah, they said they did use pads.
I only know about pads for USRSS. They put the pads down. So
and then USRSS did put the pads down, and they pay for themselves in the first day. People, because the speeds are, we definitely have to look at it, especially at least like for nationals, because I know that the NSC track is a little bit different.
Mike says he thinks that the NSC track is much safer. He says there's more lanes.
Well, he may be correct. Also, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, there were quite a few proposals about 2 or 3 years ago that actually a lot of them came out of the Great Lakes region. I think Mr. Laufer came up to change the track, change the relay boxes, and I don't know what happened. It just didn't. It just didn't progress. But we had some pretty catastrophic injuries this weekend, and that is racing. That's part of racing. And
but some of the racing was just I feel like it's not as much racing anymore as basically who can stay up on their feet when racing now. Like you go into the first, like I get the first corner, but then it's like people are throwing these crazy passes, and it's just like I would listen to people. They're like, I don't know if I want to keep skating after this.
Well, I think, though, this was under World Skate rules in Orlando, and that type of racing did promote more aggressive racing. And they were giving out warnings.
I think only one person got disqualified the entire time.
Yeah, it was not. There weren't a lot of disqualifications, but there was aggressive racing. If that's the way we're going to go, which I have no problem with that, we definitely also have to try to make the sport safer. We had some incidents. We had a skater, 2 skaters that fell. The one skater stopped the race. He got medical attention. The other person, they didn't stop the race, and the skater was forced to get off the track. Everybody can have an opinion on if that was a right or wrong thing to do, but we all have to be committed to keeping the skaters safe at all times and having a fair competition. So I think, to your question, Mike, we just need to we need to experiment about it, and we need to have discussions and see, what we need to do, because we haven't done anything, and that's not good. If you look at the NFL, they have tons of concussion protocols they put in place, safety protocols. They've improved helmets. They've changed rules. You can't do helmet to helmet. If you look at baseball, they've changed the helmet to protect the batter and added safety gear for, in case a ball, gets awry. They're throwing that ball 100 miles an hour. Technically, you could probably kill somebody if you hit them right. So they are instituting safety protocols, and I think that we're a little bit behind on that. We need to fix that, and we need to have the discussion. It's not that anybody did anything wrong. We just need to have the discussion and say, hey, can we do a better job? Do we need to make some changes? And to keep the athletes safe. Every sport is doing. NASCAR has done it. We do not want to wait until somebody dies on a NASCAR track, and then all of a sudden, okay, everybody's going to do this rule. We're going to change the rule. Everybody's got to wear
that's
the
how most
harness.
That's how most of that happens. So they don't.
Well, we don't want that to happen.
I know you don't want it to happen.
That's what happened in Florida. That's when they came up with the helmet rule. There was a skater that was killed, and we went right to helmets. They went right to helmets. And actually, the rest of us didn't go to helmets right away. But that region, as soon as it happened, we don't want to be in that situation. We want to be proactive and do the safety things that we need to do. So, any other questions?
No, one of Christina says, but we do need the experience with like aggressive racing. I understand aggressive, racing with it, but that USARS track is different from Worlds. And I will say, if we get aggressive to other countries, we will be the first one called for it. I've seen it firsthand at Worlds. Like, we have to do it in ways. Some of the times we just have to deal with it and we have to just go. I get the aggressive racing, but some of it's like on that track compared to other tracks. I think the race would be different if it was on a different track, and I think it'd be safer. You still do the same passing and everything, but I think it'd be safer.
Well, I have nothing against being aggressive.
I don't either. I said when I said it, I was like, oh my goodness. There's like some people. I think it's changed a little bit since.
Well, I think
before.
You want aggressive racing because it's exciting, but you want to do it safely. Yes. I'll take NASCAR. NASCAR, they are very aggressive. Everybody wants to see the wrecks, but the safety that they put into those cars, in the pit lane, you can't go but so fast. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Some tracks, they put restrictor plates, so you cannot go over a certain speed. So I'm all for aggressive racing, but we still need to have to put the athlete's safety first. We don't, people are going to get hurt, and it's unfortunate. Because that's just part of racing. People are going to get hurt. But we want to try to minimize that. So, I think that it is time for us to, I guess that would be the Speeds Committee and Officials Committee, in both organizations, to look at. Now, World Skate, it's kind of interesting because I don't know because in Orlando, we skated on the USARS track, but every other event that I've seen, it's on an oval. Is that correct?
Are you talking about like internationally?
Yeah, indoors.
I think because they're just trying to get as close to like a bank track like style with it, to make it similar as possible. But I think so, because I think there was like racing in Australia, and I think they did like an oval, but like they're racing on a gym floor.
And they have much more people on the floor also. And I think that's going to be a problem because, in other countries, liability laws are way different than liability laws in the United States. So some of those races, they had like 40, 50 people out there racing.
I didn't see that. I saw maybe maximum 10. But we have like our opens, and there's like 20, I think. No, maybe there can only be like 20 tops. Is it 18 or 20?
And I don't know how they do it in other countries. I know how we're doing it here. We do it in Orlando. It's very interesting. I think the one thing people said to me is their coach signed them up, but they didn't exactly know what race they were in. I think that if you're going to introduce this, we need to sell a little bit better. And and I know people say, well, hey, just go to the website. Well, a lot of people don't want to go to the website. Before we got ready here, I went and Googled the age groups for USA Roller Sports, and it came up right away. And I was able to print it out. Same with World Skate. I had a lot more difficulty with USRSS.
That's why he has me, because I found it.
But I think the average person, if somebody's saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to skate one of these meets," I don't know what my division skates. We all know the USARS divisions. So I think that everybody needs to do, if we're going to have these three formats, that all three formats have to do a better job of selling it and saying, "Hey, this is what you race. This is so you know. My child is in this division. These are the laps they're going to run." Also, in the USRSS, they start at the finish line. Start-finish line is the same line.
Oh, yeah.
It is different. We start, USA Roller Sports starts back at corner number 4, but the time doesn't start
till the finish line. So
until
you get a
the
little
finish
bit of
line.
a...
So you get a little bit of a go before
like
you
that.
go. So it is, people need to understand that. So there are differences, but we just want people to be aware. I think we just want everybody to race. I mean, if you're a USA Roller Sports person, that's fine. If you're a USRSS person, that's fine. Our team skates both. We just want to race. So whoever's putting on a race close to us that we can get to, we're going to race it. And that's what we've been doing. We've skated all of the American Championships, and we've skated all of USA Roller Sports Championships. We haven't picked one over the other. We try to skate both. Some things have changed on the landscape. We have not had a USARS meet in our region in 2 years. It's just the way it is. And that was, basically the rink that wanted to put on the rink said that we'll put a meet on, but it's got to be this. But so we went there and raced. We just want to race. So I think, did we miss anything? I know you're looking at the...
No, I was just listening because Mike Godin, he's like, what else can you do besides changing the track? Because, the speeds are getting faster, the wheels are getting better, and the manufacturers aren't just going to stop. Be like, nope, this is what we're going to stay with. They're wanting to keep improving. I mean, TLTF has a new prototype. NSC, they have a harder Bigfoot wheel. Like, they want to keep improving.
And Power Slide's getting back in the game too.
You mean Matter?
Yeah, Matter, Power Slide. They're going to be...
They're two different companies.
Well,
I mean, they are. They're like connected, but.
Connected.
And then Harry says, if World Skate wants to have indoor, why not use USA as a model instead of trying to reinvent the wheel just to be different? I don't know. I had a conversation. I don't know if it's going to completely, get started because we're the only country that has, tracks like we do and floors like we do too.
I think that we have the best indoor racing. And personally, I think that everybody should copy off of our indoor
Well, that's
racing.
what Harry's saying. He said they should use us as a model instead of doing that. I'm just saying in general, like, people are like, well, we should have indoor worlds and everything, and that's going to be harder to push because in countries they have, gymnasium floors, and that's what they're skating on. I was talking to Sandrine, she was like, I skate on a gym floor. She says, we are wearing outdoor wheels, the grippiest wheels that we can find.
Well, I think that still, I think Harry's right that I think we have the best indoor skating. And I think that there's got to be a little compromise. I'm not in the know. Johanna's, I call him Mr. World Skate because he's kind of doing that, and he would have a little bit more insight. But I think that, floor coatings, I'm sure people came from other countries were not used to how tight our floor was. And if you had an outdoor wheel on, it definitely would slow you down. Some of it didn't bother at all.
It's no difference if, let's say, we have trials in Colorado and then we go to Worlds and it's a Vesmaco track, it's a little different there to skate on that.
Yeah, but we do have the advantage. I mean, if you skate on roll-on, it's just like when you skate on the floor. It's not coated versus coated. So I do agree. To Mike's question, what would you do? I think padding, I know nobody wants to do it, but I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to have to do it. And I think we're going to at least have to do it, because, with the speeds, they're just getting faster and faster. We're not like ice where we're breaking records by hundredths of a second. we are smashing records. And somebody with the technology, with the skates, the boots, the frames, the bearings, we're breaking records by seconds. And if that keeps on going, we're just going faster and faster. This is the only sport that I know of that you can go faster at 50 years old than you could when you were 20.
That's because of technology.
I mean, if you ran a 154 in quads, you were smoking. You do that on inlines, you're getting lapped like almost 1.5 times.
Wait, what time?
154. If you could
For
do
what?
1,000 meters, if back in the day.
Yeah, probably go like 10, 20.
I mean, if you could break a 50 lapper, if you ran a 950 something, you're probably placing. You're not if you do that on inlines, you're not placing. You're not even coming close.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I did a 9-minute.
No, 9 minutes and 50.
Oh no. We were at the lower end.
Yeah,
of
you're at the lower end, so it's a big deal. So, any other questions?
Harry Stewart says, I think U.S. RSS goes too far for also in trying to do things different than you saw. Starting line is the perfect example of that. You mean like changing where the starting line is?
I don't really understand his question if he's saying they went too far. I think
because they're changing, like things are different. They're not completely similar, whereas like the starting line is the finish line, whereas the starting line is not the finish line for USARs. I don't know. I think I like having the start and the finish in the same location. I mean, like with Worlds and everything, your 200 meter is the same spot and finish. Start and finish. The 500 is different because it's a 500 plus D. The 1,000 is in the same spot, start and finish. Your long races are in the same spot, start and finish.
Well, I think that it's about options, and I think competition's good. I think both organizations, as they try to get new customers and get new skaters, it's going to make everybody have to do a better job, and I think we'll see. USRSS is 4 years old, and we'll just have to see where it goes. USA Roller Sports has been around forever.
Technically 5, but we had COVID.
Yeah, and they're going to have to, you start thinking proactive, not reactive, and we'll just see what happens. We'll just see what happens. I enjoy skating both. Harry, I got to tell you, I like going to USA Roller Sports Nationals. I enjoy it every year. But I also like going to the American Championships. It's different. They have a champions race. And you have to qualify throughout your races to get to a champions race. USA Roller Sports doesn't have a championships race, but they have the NSC, which is also interesting and to watch. So it's two different approaches.
What did it used to be with World Class? Did you have to qualify when we had World Class? Did you have to qualify for that?
Well, when at first, I think it was if you were a former world team member or...
So kind of like basically like national team.
Yeah. At first, anybody could skate it, which I thought was crazy because a lot of people skated it because they knew they couldn't get out of regionals. So they were almost skate World Class. So they go to national, say they were skate World Class. I think that when they got rid of it and went back, I think it made the divisions a lot more competitive and exciting to watch. But at the same time, I also like the way the American Championships, where you get to place, if you get first, second, or third in the races, you qualify for that race. And I think the payout is going to be different this year. It's not you're going to get paid by race this year. Is that correct?
Yeah. I was excited about this one. I was able to, have my input with it. I am interning with US RSS and USARS. They asked me to be on the call to get my opinions on it. Of course, I didn't have any vote in it, like whatsoever. That was their vote. They're asking me as an athlete, as a skater. So this, in past years, they've just done overall first, second, and third. This year, they are doing, or for overall, this year they're going to pay per race. The overall is going to be...
Still same amount.
No. The overall is going to be lower. So the overall, instead of being 2,500, 1,500, 1,000, it's going to be 1,000 for first, 700 I think for second and 500 for third. And then per race.
But is the overall payout from the championship?
Yeah, the overall payout's the same. So if you
would
would win every race, you'd still get 2,500.
You still get the 2,500 if you win every race.
But like for example, let's just take from last year. I won the one race, and you got second in the other two, so I got 1,500 overall. If we would have went by the system that we're doing this year, I would have got $200 more because I won the race.
Okay.
Because since we're paying out by race, it's going to be first for 500, second is 300, and third is 200 per race. So if you win a race, you're going to get $500. I mean, I think it gives more incentives for people to skate because some people be like, well, I'm not going to win the overall, so what's the point of skating it? But now it's like, well, if I can place in this race, I'm going to get some money.
Yeah. So they're but like I said, competition makes us all better. And I really think that, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, people are trying. And USA Roller Sports is trying too, and World Skate's trying different things. We'll just have to see how it works out.
Harry Stewart says, it's harder to train skaters to start from the finish line and run an oval track as well as the way USARS does. A standardization would help.
You're correct. We're going to the Christiana Invitational in Delaware, and from now on to that meet, we're just running the oval track. That's all we're skating on. We're doing the relays on that. We're doing the oval track. But I got to tell you, Harry, I think the kids like to change. I think they like it when you change it up.
There's more lanes on
and some people
to pass on. And
some people, when they say they don't like the oval track, it's because they don't skate on it. We're going to skate on it for the next month until we go. And we've been skating on it. And some people like it. Some people don't like it. And I get it. But as coaches, it's just like indoor, outdoor. You got to train indoor is totally different from outdoor. And we got to teach both. So now we got to teach something else. And, some people, at World Skate don't like those age groups because they're too close. There's too many ages together. So I think it's all about options. You have options. And people can skate both. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I can see your point.
I think one thing we should talk about, because I was asked, what's the difference between warnings and disqualifications? We did talk earlier about the jumps and what's the differences between USARs. It's 3 jumps basically, and then you're out when it's World Skate rules, because it was first is charged to the left field, the line. Second, if you jump, you're pulled back, and then if you jump a third time, you're out.
And that only carries through that race.
Yeah, it carries through the races too. That's the other thing. But that also goes with USRSS. If you jump, let's say in a 500-meter heat, that carries with you if you make to the semi and then to the final. So if you jump in the final, you're out. And it carries with you. I don't believe it carries with you in USARS. If you jump in the heat, you jump in the final.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't carry with you in USARS. It only carries with you in World Skate rules, and USRSS, the jumps carry with you. So it's good practice not to jump. Just try to get good reaction with that. Warning wise, I have to read again because the one reason they're doing warnings is because World Skate, no matter what, they want it to be interesting, the races to be interesting. So they want to have the fastest people
racing
in the final. So if I bump somebody and they went a little wide, and I passed them and I wasn't by them, I'd get a warning, but they wouldn't disqualify me for it.
Well, I think what happened is if it's so new to you, if you had never saw that type of racing.
That's why I think it was more aggressive, because they're you can go for it.
And I think a lot of people are like, oh my God, they just rode my kid out. That should have been disqualification. And under USA Roller Sports, maybe it would have been a disqualification, but we're trying something different. I do think if we ever adopt this type of racing at a national level, the rules will definitely have to be clear.
Oh, Harry, less technique required for the oval, even out the competition. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. He says, in my honest opinion, I'm going to say I don't agree, because I myself have to, actually, I learned a technique from Michael Cheeks. He told me, I don't know if I tell you all yet, but I will in the future, because I'm tall, we have to skate the track differently, which means we have to work on our technique even more. I have to work on my technique all the time on that track. Number one, it kills my back because I have to do certain
Get lower.
Yeah, I have to get lower because I'm tall, so it kills my back. So if anybody's out there that's like tall and they're wondering and even U-Stars too, it kind of kills my back because they're like shorter turns. That's why I like outdoor a little bit more now. But
I don't know. I think, like I said, I think it's different. It's all new. So I think we just gotta give it some time. I mean, there was compromise with World Skate. When World Skate first came out, they were talking about wheel sizes and all this other kind of stuff. And I was told, I was totally against making them, even though I do it all the time. Our little Austin's on 70 millimeter wheels. And that's what we do. And I'm constantly fighting with my parents because they want to go up to the bigger wheels. But I didn't think it was fair to make somebody do it. But they compromised. They said, okay, you can wear whatever wheel you want. And I was okay with that. And we definitely, we went with age groups. We skated down there, and everything was fine. We didn't have any problems. But if wheels become available, maybe we have to go back and look at that again. There's some coaches out there. I think it's crazy when you see a 10-year-old kid on 125s, and we all know we saw that, and I don't know why we don't see that anymore. But when it first came out, we definitely saw, and coaches seemed to be okay with it. I thought it was like totally ridiculous, but we definitely saw coaches allowing that, and parents thought bigger was better. So I think,
for the bigger wheels.
And I think that's all gone. But it's all new, and we just wanted to go over the different. There's basically three, organizations. Not 3 rule sets, I guess. I shouldn't say organization. 3 rule sets. Now, World Skate, as far as I know, they don't do quads.
No.
USRSS does quads.
Fears did.
Huh?
When you guys were before inlines came out.
Oh yeah, back in my
Fears.
day. Yeah, back in my day.
If you don't know what World Skate used to be, it was Fears. I don't know. It's like Federation Internationale de roller sports and all that stuff. I think 2017 was last year because I have a certificate when it was Fears when I went to China for Worlds. That's experience I won't forget.
But USA Roller Sports does quads. USRSS does quads. And quads are starting to come back in certain parts of the country. Certain parts of the country they're not. In our part of the country, it's not. It's just not coming back yet.
It's like the mid. It's like the yeah. It's like the Midwest. I think like it's what is it? Illinois, Indiana, Great Lakes. Sorry,
Great Lakes area.
Yeah, sorry, I had the wrong area.
And actually, in North Carolina, there's a lot of quads. There's a lot of quads in North Carolina, but certain parts of the country it just hasn't. I mean, we offer it. It just people just kind of don't escape.
Harry, I don't think it's a lost art passing on the oval track. I mean, I think it's more fun to pass on that one because you can pass on the inside, you can pass on the outside.
Oh, it's just wild. Yeah. I think it's a different kind of racing. I think it's a different kind of racing.
I think because you have those more lanes. That's I think one of the reasons why I think it's just a little bit safer because you have all those lanes. You can pass on the inside. You can pass on the outside. If someone's on the inside, you pass in the middle. If someone's on the outside, you have 3 lanes to choose from. And if someone's in one of those lanes, you still have 2 lanes to choose from. That's just how I see it when I skate.
But everybody's going to have a preference. Some people are going to like skating both. Some people are going to like the oval. Some people are going to like skating on the regular track. But I do think, like I said, for safety concerns, we have to address both tracks. When we went to American Championships, they had padding there, and I said, and it definitely helped because there were people that went into it. We still had some injuries, but not as severe as we had before.
What is Chris Callis says? Do you feel with all the NGBs make it challenging / confusing what race format and marketing roller sports in general? I think a little bit. It makes it confusing, but also like American Championships. I think it's like American roller sports now because they have inline hockey and roller hockey and art under it now. So it's, but with U.S. roller speed skating, I think what makes it confusing is because it's newer and not a lot of people still know completely about it, because there are skaters that be like, oh, well, what kind of track is this? And I have to explain it in different ways, especially on doing relays. I think it's just, especially when new people come in, they're like, oh, there's two organizations. Where in other, sports, you have that big organization.
Well, I think my comparison to this question is there's only one NGB. USA Roll Sports is the NGB. But if you look at NASCAR or look at car racing in general, you got NASCAR, you got short track, you got midgets, you got truck racing.
But their end goal is to get into NASCAR.
Well, their end goal is to get into the NASCAR, but there are different levels. I don't know. My personal preference is, I've always said, I believe that USA Roller Sports and USRSS need to sit down to the table and come up with some
solution,
common ground. That's always been my opinion, and I know that people in USA Roller Sports don't agree and people in USRSS don't agree, but that's my opinion. I think though, from a marketing standpoint, that both organizations could benefit from learning from each other, marketing different types of racing. There's oval racing, there's USA Roller Sports racing, there's outdoor road racing, there's there's outdoor track racing, and I think that
outdoor is very similar,
but I mean, it's different. You can have 200-meter track, and you can have road racing, which is on road course. You can have marathons, and I think that the more venues that you have and more opportunities, because there might be some people out there. There's people out there that just do marathons. They don't, just like in track. In track, you do the 100, the 200. You do the hurdles. You do this relay. You do that relay. You do that. I don't see why we have to limit.
That's more like the sprinters with it, but I mean.
But I'm saying, why do we have to limit yourself? They all run.
Yeah, they all run.
That's the point. We all skate. So what's the difference?
No, I skate one marathon a year. No, although I would have, if Worlds was earlier or later, Mike Mason's race or marathon that he has, it seemed very interesting. And so if you're not doing anything, I would definitely check that out. I think it's in October.
Yes, it is in October. He was down in Orlando too.
Yeah, I saw the medals. They were really cool.
Yeah, they're nice. Anybody else?
Harry just says need to define the lanes that you skate for the track. I think that's also something, the coaches have to teach the skaters. That's what I learned it from the skaters, but I also learned it in clinics. When I did or when I was at a clinic, I think Michael Cheeks was doing the clinic. That's where I learned that technique, because he's like, you're gonna be tall.
That was an
this
Indian
is what
trail.
You need to do. Yeah. No, he's like, you're gonna be tall. This is what you're gonna have to do if you want to succeed, especially on this type of track. And since then, I will just say it's definitely harder. If me going up against someone who's almost a foot shorter than me, it's hard. Because they're already lower than me.
Well, like I said, I think we're going in new territories. I agree with Harry. It's going to be hard. It's different. But like I said, I think that we definitely just have to, accept that there's going to be different types of racing. People are going to have different approaches to it. Some organizations, maybe you can't. Like in ice, you can hardly touch anybody, and you're out. If you go in front of somebody and don't even touch them but impede their progress, you could get disqualified. We're going in a different direction, but I just think that we'll just have to see how it's going to.
I read it wrong. He says, I meant the individual responsibilities of each organization, and once done, they need to define or need to stay in those defined lanes.
Okay.
I think also just talking down will help build the sport with it.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like I said, the purpose was to bring up the differences in the organization, not to say one is better than the other, because we skate both. to tell you what the pricing was in both of the organizations, to tell you how you could skate one on an event card, the other one on an event card, or you can just go out and buy an average card for both if you want to. But
I did.
Well, that's what we do. But I mean,
it definitely would add up to the same amount as a membership. Because if I had the U-Stars membership and then I stayed in Kentucky and then I'm skating, what other one? Or let's say I skate that and I go to LOL and then I skate.
Yeah, it would be about the
Delaware, and then I skate American Championships.
You might as well buy a card.
Might as well just buy a card then for that.
You might as well buy a card. Now, also, I forgot. In USA Roller Sports, you have to have background check, and you have to have Safe Sport.
You said that.
In USRSS, they do a background check for coaches and officials at this time. I do not know. I'm sure. Because when we first got involved, I didn't have to do a background check at all. But now you do. So I'm sure that as time goes on, they're going to, just like USA Roller Sports, everybody over 18 now has to do Safe Sport and everything else. So I think that you're going to see, as, everybody, the pushes to keep athletes, from sexual predators and all that, bullying and all that kind of stuff. So I think you're
bullying. Oh my goodness, that's a topic
for another day.
No, it's not. It's not a topic for another day. I would just like to get this off my chest a little bit. For the people out there that just like to. I don't know if it's like you're just doing it to get on people's nerves. I've noticed in every sport lately that, there's mind games, there's trash talk, but it's gotten so personal. Like, they get so personal with things. And for the people that I, know and I skate with, I know, some of it's, just for, fun. But the people I don't know and they don't know me, why are you saying some of these things? Especially the people that, have blocked me and you're saying all these rumors about me that aren't true. I put stuff out there, not necessarily for me, but to promote the sport. I'm doing this, my dad and I are doing this to help promote the sport, bring a positive light for skating, help people that are new to skating, explain things to them.
Get a better understanding.
To get a better understanding with it. And, certain people will just bring up things, my dog. What does my dog have to do with this? She's 16 years old. She sleeps most of the day. She goes into the rink and she's just out by the time she leaves.
I think we just need to move on from that. I think we need to move on from that because it's just.
I'm just saying I do this. I put certain things out for people.
We need to move on. Just checking for any other comments. We need to move on. You need to stay on the subject.
I think that's it. I would have said more, but
good.
Even if I do comment, I can't see it.
So this is move on. So I think if nobody has any other questions,
Emily says they're all these haters. They're jealous. Chris Callis, what would be the choice for skaters' choice outside insurance? So if you don't want to do.
Well, I got to tell you, as somebody that had promoted a lot of outdoor races. For the longest time, USA Roller Sports was the best deal in town. You had $150 sanction for your outdoor race. Mm-hmm. At one point, they had another additional $150 insurance that was for beginners. Actually, it came from Artistic. It was to allow people to get involved, like beginners, to try to get in the beginner competitions. And they were covered by the insurance. Unfortunately, when they took that insurance away and said they were going to replace it, and they never did, which forces a lot of people to either go nonprofit, which, if you're nonprofit, it's really hard to sue a nonprofit. You can, but if they don't have any money, it's hard to do it. Or you need to go out to get private insurance. What we've had to do... Let me finish. What we've had to do is we had to go out, because we get skaters, for instance, that come from Canada, the skate. Mm-hmm. They come from New York, and all they do is skate outdoors. To allow them to skate, we had to go out and get private insurance, which totally knocks USA Roller Sports totally out of the game. I think when they got rid of that insurance, they just shot themselves in the foot, in my opinion. Because I had no problem giving them $300 for every race, so I can cover my carded members, my non-carded members, and I could have my event. I could satisfy the insurance needs of the county, of the park, and now I can't do that. So now I have to pay a little bit more, and none of that money goes into any organization. It goes to my insurance broker. It's called Main Event Insurance, and it is a shame because I had no problem paying it. I had no problem paying it. It was a little bit of paperwork, but and that's the other thing. When I get my insurance, I fill out a form. It's a detailed form. I fill it out one time. I pay it. I don't have to send any paperwork anywhere to nobody. And that makes it easier on the person putting on the race. So the insurance is now there's different insurance from USA Roller Sports and USRSS. I think that the reason why, and I don't know for sure, I think the reason why USRSS is allowed to have the cheaper rate is because they're spreading it out over rinks and everything else, where USA Roller Sports doesn't have that option. But I've looked at both of the policies, and they're pretty much the same from what I've seen. I hope that answered your question, Chris. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was younger when it first happened, but I was asking if it was like the people that came from Canada, didn't they have to buy a full membership, and we didn't want to have them do that. It was like,
well, what happens?
They had to do a full membership, and then they also do Safe Sport like before they got there. And
well, before that, for instance, we did the ESS race for I think 15 years before COVID.
Yeah.
So I used to use Herb Gale. So under Herb Gale would have to get a $85 card. Then I'd have to charge him $40-$50 to run to skate the race.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. When they had the $150, $300, now I don't have to charge him that. Mm-hmm. You're spreading that cost over all the racers, and maybe they have to pay $1 more. If you have 150 people show up and you charge $2 more, you covered it. But when you have to, if somebody comes from New York that just skates, they just skate, they do Fran's race up there and they just skate around the city and want to come down and race, or the people down in Washington, D.C., for instance, that have their race down there that don't do any USA Roller Sports at all, mm-hmm. They want to race. We're losing all that opportunity. And now what they did do is they did do a 3-year deal where we were able to give them the $10 card, mm-hmm. but that is expired. And I used to just, okay, I'll pay for your card. Don't worry about it. I'll pay for your card. You can come skate. Fill out this form. And I thought that was a very good way to get that skater introduced to an indoor organization. Mm-hmm. And I think we lost that opportunity because you had to put your email on there, you had to do this and that, and then they would get notices from the organization. Maybe they go to the website, and we could have built on that, but we didn't do that. It just went away. So now we just go get the private insurance. There was no Safe Sport back then. And so now we'd have to do that. We'd have to check everybody to see if that's, if we do a USA Roller Sports event.
If they're in good standing.
In good standing. So it's just easier and less hassle to either be nonprofit or just get your private insurance. And then you're done. Any other questions?
No, I was just going to say thank you to Emily. Because we're comment. Does anybody else have any other comments before we
shut it down?
Go? Because I gotta eat some pizza. I'm hungry. It's my off week, my cheat week, as I call it.
Yes, it is. So
cheat week after I'm done skating.
Well, we want to thank you. I don't know how this live went because I'm not on the other side. You know, some of you guys that know me, you'll call me tomorrow, tell me, hey, it wasn't really that good, or
I think the beginning was just a little boring because you just kept talking, and it wasn't like.
Okay, all right, well, I get that. So, please comment. We will still put this on YouTube. We
may take a little bit.
We did this because we want to get this out here because there is a race coming up in Delaware, and
May
a lot of people
7th through the 8th.
Yeah, practice is on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and a lot of people had a lot of questions on what it was all about. And I know people, when they don't know what it's about, they just say, well, I'm just not going to go. So we want to inform people. I've been on the phone trying to convince people they have a rookie, because I know a lot of teams are starting over again, and the rookie is really going to be good for you.
I like watching the rookie races.
So it's watch them progress. So we wanted to get this out here today, and I hope you all have a good night. We don't want to stay out here too long, so we will see you later. Please subscribe. Please comment.
No, like would be on Facebook. Please like.
Oh, yeah,
comment any questions you have afterwards. We'll try if we maybe go live again, or we're just gonna do it. Post on.
Yeah, maybe
YouTube.
we'll just go live like every couple, because it is kind of fun. So,
it is fun to interact.
And we'll see what the viewership versus is over on YouTube, but we'll put it on both. So, all right. Good night, everybody. See you later. Next time. Hope to see you in Delaware. And thank you for tuning in.
Bye. Bye.